How about Dusty Mullins? That sounds like a wrestler name.
Yeah, it sounds like
I'm Dusty Mullins.
I'll ever,
Suck up.
snap into a
y'all
Slim
ever
Jim.
want, y'all ever want this beautiful face to act for y'all again, you better not.
Oh darn!
Damn, son.
Oh snap! Into a Slim Jim.
Cause I'm Dusty Mullins.
Rah, 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 rah. Zach's a lot nicer. I was just gonna call you Douche Mullins.
I'm Dusty Mullins, and I'm gonna get the WWE Championship.
Oh yeah, brother!
This is Dustymania.
Running wild on you, brother!
How did y'all mix like 8 different WWE characters into one like that?
Because that's Dusty Mullins.
Hey man, Dusty Mullins. He just takes his shit from everybody else. He doesn't come up with anything original.
He's like the chameleon from Spider-Man.
Hey,
He's
did
like
you
the
see
Frankenstein of wrestlers?
You're listening to the Good Stuff Podcast with CK Helms, Zach Bandit, Ryan Mullins, and Jeremiah Elliott.
Welcome everybody to episode 24 of the Good Stuff Podcast. As always, I'm CK Helms.
And Melissa MacGyver.
What?
What?
Who?
I'm Melissa MacGyver.
I feel like this is a character that you've actually created, and I'm Ryan Mullins.
Melissa MacGyver. Okay, moving on. This is an off week for Jeremiah, so he's too busy being a firefighter EMT guy, so he will not be with us today, of course. But we miss you, Jeremiah, and we can't wait to have you back next week so you can keep these other two in line. Did I say that out loud? I did. Okay. This episode is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. Each and every episode of the Good Stuff Podcast is brought to you by Blind Bandit Productions. If you want to learn more about Blind Bandit Productions, then go to blindbanditproductions.com. I almost said W's, but every time I do that, I say like 4 or 5 of them instead of 3.
www.blindbanditproductions.com.
WWE, brother. God, blindbanditproductions.com. But yeah, guys, Zach actually has something.
Semicolon /
Yeah, good job, Ryan. Zach actually has some exciting stuff to talk to us about Bandit Productions today, so I'm going to let Zach talk about that.
You want me to talk about it?
Yeah, you talk about it, boss man.
So we decided to create a Patreon page. So
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared to talk about this.
Like be a Patreon participant, we will have gifts very soon.
Yes, we'll have different tiers. I think we have about 5 tiers. There's like bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, diamond. Each tier will have different things, and of course, if you go to the higher tier, you'll get everything below it. But there's things like you can get a personalized sketch and exclusive content, like exclusive segments from the Good Stuff podcast. And once we start filming a lot more stuff, exclusive like behind the scenes videos or just exclusive sketches that we decided to cut for whatever reason, then you'll get stuff like that. So
yeah, what's really exciting, sorry, Zach, but what's really exciting about, Blind Bandit Productions is not only do we do the Good Stuff podcast, but we're currently working on a comic book. We're going to be doing some short films and other film stuff, projects and stuff. And by supporting us on Patreon, in case you don't know what that is, it's basically a site where you support our company each month by, you could donate $1, $5, $10, $20, $35. I think those are different types of tiers. And of course, they're, we have Bronze Bandit. They have names to them. You check it out. Each one has exclusive stuff, like Zach said. it's a good way to see some of the things that we don't show everybody else, and such as some of the things that we're going to have, such as the Good Stuff podcast. You're going to get exclusive segments, like we're going to do like a top 5 list. You'll be able to get CB with CK on there. You're going to be able to get reviews of shows, some different things. I can't remember what all we came out with, but you'll be able to see that when we start doing videos full time next year. You'll be able to see shows exclusively only to our Patreon people, depending on what tier you have, such as shows that we've done before whenever we were Cinepulse many years ago. Like Ranaholics Anonymous will be Patreon exclusive. And then you'll be able to see cut sketches from other shows, and then you'll be able to see behind-the-scenes stuff of short films, such as we just filmed a short film, I don't know, micro short, whatever you want to call it, Ryan.
Yeah, sketch, pretty much.
Which we'll talk more about later, and which was directed by Ryan and stars Ryan and our good friend Sarah, and you'll be able to see like the behind the scenes, like outtakes and stuff from that video if you became a Patreon thing. As far as the comic goes, you'll get to see the sketches, the character sketches. You can only do that by becoming a Patreon person. At our highest tier, you'll get all first 6 issues of the first arc of Vengeance Emergence comic book for free. Well, I mean, you'll be supporting the company, so you'll get it there, and then you can get an exclusive sketch from our comic artist of yourself. And as I told Zach, you could just get one of just what you look like normal, or say you wanted to be Iron Man or Batman or something. He can do a sketch of that as your favorite comic book character, or you want to be Rambo or something, you know.
We'll even we'll even draw you with a Stark Tech Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, if you want to have the Infinity Gauntlet, we can draw you with that. So any support would be helpful, and you'll be help supporting Blind Bandit Productions as a whole. And as I like it a lot better than what's good about us is that we do so many different things, guys, that, you know, such as there's podcast Patreons that you get stuff with their podcast, and there's people that make comic books, and then you get stuff with their comic books. And then there's film ones, and you get stuff with their film. Well, we're everything. And you don't have to pay for, like, say, either choose a $5 tier to do the comic book or the podcast or film. We're just piling everything on one tier. So you get multiple things per tier. So I think that's pretty exciting stuff. Good stuff, even.
I wanna be a Patreon supporter now.
I mean, you can find more about our Patreon. I believe it's patreon.com/
Blind Bandit Productions.
Blind Bandit Productions, yeah. So go check that out. And guys, I mean, as I said, even, you know, a few dollars a month, I mean, would help us out tremendously. And as I said, you get all exclusive content. But check out all the tiers and learn more stuff about.
One trip to the snack machine.
It's okay. I mean, just bring your lunch to work tomorrow instead of going to your local fast food place.
Even $1, like our lowest tier is $1. So
yeah, and I don't know if we have anything listed on that $1 tier, but even if there's nothing particularly listed on that, we'll throw a sketch or something at you every month for supporting us even a little bit. And so. As I said, anything's even $1, even if that's all you wanted to throw at us, that's perfectly fine, and we'll make sure you get something out of your $1. So anything.
Well, the $1 I put is access to the Patreon feed, which the Patreon feed is like a feed that only Patreon's donors get access to. So basically, we would put all our stuff there.
Cool.
For that in the feed.
See? Awesome stuff, guys. But yeah, let's get on with the show, guys, because we're moving a little bit into it. So let's start off, and we start off every week with, for real quick, don't forget about all our social media pages like facebook.com/The Good Stuff Podcast. Instagram, we're Good Stuff Podcast on there. And then Twitter, we're Good Stuff for Real. And Blind Bandit Productions is BBP for real, right? Those are right, Zach?
BBP for real, or facebook.com/Blind Bandit Productions.
Yep. And you can listen to the show. Sorry, Ryan, were you speaking?
Yeah, I said don't forget to like us on Facebook and give us a good review.
Yeah, or a bad review. We'll take those too, because then we can take the bad reviews and know what to improve upon. So,
Or we can send out the hit squad and find out who made those bad reviews.
Shut up, Zach. Shut up, Zach.
It's a secret, Zach. It's a secret, Zach.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Spoiler. But yeah, and don't forget to listen to the show on Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube, and of course Stitcher, and all those other podcast apps that collect podcast app stuff. You can find us on all those places. Leave us a review on iTunes. We set at a 5-star review right now, so I mean, we only have one, but hey, make me feel good. So yeah, it was not. I know who it was, but it was not you. It was a guy that has a podcast. But anyways, yeah, let's move into the show. So we got notable releases. That's what we start off with every week. And a big release this week, you got coming to theaters this Friday, is X-Men Dark Phoenix. Is that your overall thoughts on it, Zach? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not excited at all for Dark Phoenix. Chris, I've seen the trailers, and then I just recently saw like a full scene from the movie, and it was just, I don't know, it just looks so bad.
The first social media reactions came out this week, and I didn't see any good ones. They were all pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's sounding a lot like they threw the rest of the film together after the acquisition just to get it over with.
I think the franchise should have ended with Logan, and that's where it should have ended. To be honest,
was that before Apocalypse came out too?
That was after Apocalypse, I believe.
Yeah, after Apocalypse. Apocalypse, I believe. I'm kind of the same way. I think Apocalypse was good. I think Days of Future Past had some good points to it, but I also think that Apocalypse was overdone.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they didn't do Apocalypse and then had just done Days of Future Past and did Logan, that would have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Days of Future Past was so good, and then
it would have been good to transition.
Amazing.
It would have been good to have transitioned from that to Logan, and then end the franchise. They said, I haven't seen the movie, of course, but I had seen on all the social media reactions that that you could tell they did reshoots for this movie, and they said that you really could tell where reshoots were done.
Yeah.
Which is never a good sign.
Yep.
And what they said is, I've heard a lot about, at least half of them have mentioned that it looked like Michael Fassbender was the only person trying in the film. Everyone else was just calling it in, performance-wise.
Yeah.
Every time I saw it,
was their last time as in that role.
every time I saw the trailer with Michael Fassbender in it, like he seemed to be like the only really good performance in the trailer.
Well, Michael Fassbender, he really is a good actor, in my opinion. I think he has done very well with the role that he's been in, and I honestly think that Michael Fassbender doesn't want to go down as giving a bad performance on anything.
Right. Snowman was underrated. So what's the likelihood of anybody seeing this in theaters?
I'm honestly not. I'll wait for Netflix.
I was thinking about it because I have T-Mobile, and they do T-Mobile Tuesdays where they give you like gifts and stuff, and they had Dark Phoenix for $4, and I was thinking of buying a ticket, but I don't know. It's just I saw like the scene, and
damn, they literally can't give tickets away.
Yeah, I just don't even know if I want to even pay $4 to see it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to watch on Netflix though. Probably go to Disney Plus, you think,
or
Hulu,
because one of the two.
I know that they're saying that New Mutants is probably going to go direct to Hulu.
They did give it a theatrical release for next year.
They did?
Again.
Yeah, but they keep doing that. It's just like,
back and forth, kind of.
That
what
Thing.
movie's
should
never.
what should
That
we
movie's never.
believe?
That movie's never coming out. Okay. They still have reshoots they have to do. So they haven't done those. So, but I'm not really too thrilled about Dark Phoenix. But something I am thrilled about is something that comes out on Netflix tomorrow, and that's I Am Mother. It's a Netflix exclusive thing. We've talked about it on the show before. We watched the trailer where the girl was a test tube baby from a robot, and then the robot she calls mother or whatever. Do y'all remember that trailer?
I just watched the trailer today. Doesn't seem like your type of movie though.
It seemed interesting to me though. I don't know why. Yeah, it doesn't normally look like my normal type.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed pretty interesting, and it's pretty.
I'm gonna watch it.
So, Rad, do you remember when we talked about it on the trailer?
No, because I was probably absent that episode.
You were not absent, actually. You probably have slept since then.
That might be it.
Maybe the sickness made you forget. Maybe you were sick then.
That may have been the episode that I was sick and had to call it halfway in the middle of the episode.
Yeah. You called it and you had to go home early. But it's interesting. Like you said, Zach, it's not my normal type of thing. But when I first saw the trailer, it looked, I don't know, there's something intriguing about it. I don't know what it is, but I'll probably give it a view. At least start to watch it.
Start to watch it and then be like, never mind.
Never mind. Zach was right.
Zach was right. I don't like these type of movies. Zach knows me better than I know me.
It happens. But let's move on to what you say.
Let's say we had several new trailers this past week.
Yeah, the Rambo 5 trailer, which came out last Thursday before we started recording. But if stuff usually comes out on Thursday, kind of wait until the next week's show. But yeah, Rambo 5 trailer. Everybody checked it out, or
I did.
Rambo, Last Blood, right?
I've never really been a fan of the Rambo series. Like, I watched the first one as a kid, and it's been a very long running movie series. This one looked like it was shot really well. Like, from the trailer, it looks like they took a slightly different take on it, while at the same time trying to maintain the retroness of it. And for sure.
Zach, what was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I watched the trailer. The first time I watched the trailer was actually the other day, or yesterday, I think, when I went to see Rocket Man, and yeah, it looked pretty good. I mean, I've never actually watched a Rambo film, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, it seems okay. And Sylvester Stallone, I guess, knows how to carry franchises with this and Rocky.
Yeah. I have to say though, like it looked like a realistic take of more Rambo. More like this would be like a nitty gritty and stuff, and it kind of reminded me of like watching. This is like when I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is what would happen if Rambo was in Far Cry.
Yeah. It's like they took a modern take on a retro film while still using the same actor.
Yeah. But I mean, it looks interesting. I probably won't see it in theaters just because I haven't seen any other Rambo movie. I'm not a huge Stallone.
And you don't really go to theaters anyway, so
I only go to theaters for superhero movies, or kids movies.
I go to theaters all the time because it's like right across the street for me, and it's like my antidepressant. So
I have to pay for like 17 people to go sit theater. So
I know you have like 20 kids, and 5 wives or something.
Don't live in Utah, Jesus Christ.
Utah. Is that what it's like in Utah?
I don't know, isn't that where polygamy is legal and shit?
Anyway, also new trailer, Onward was released.
Did anyone catch this one? Or
Yeah, I just watched it. It looks pretty interesting. Reminded me of Zootopia, except with like magical creatures and fairy tale beasts and stuff.
So basically, from watching it, it's like there's the two main characters are these two elf brothers, and it's like a suburban fantasy town, and there's no like magic left apparently. So like they're just living in like a normal neighborhood, and so they're all fantasy characters. So you look, the mailman's a centaur. Instead of like random dogs everywhere in the neighborhood, they're unicorns. There's like people like elves and dwarves, gnomes, and stuff running around. What was cool? It's a Disney Pixar movie, so you know it's probably going to be good because it's Pixar.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really do wrong. So
Yeah, I mean, even as a grown 30-year-old adult, I still like Pixar movies. So I mean,
yeah. What was really cool was Tom Holland is doing the voice of the main guy, and then his brother is being voiced by Chris Pratt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I knew it was Tom Holland, but I didn't. Chris Pratt does something with his voice in there, and I didn't really know it was Chris Pratt until I saw the credits at the end of the trailer.
And that's part of the reason why it makes me want to see it, because I've seen we've all seen the screen time that Chris Pratt and Tom Holland had together in the Marvel movie. And them two, especially on their interviews where they've been on interviews together, they seem to mesh really well. And I'm curious to see how they do it, because, the interviews with Chris Pratt and Tom Holland are worth watching alone.
Yeah. But I'm pretty excited about it. It's probably out of all these trailers of this week, it's probably my most excited one to see. So,
yeah, same.
All these trailers. We also had Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't look like too bad. It doesn't look like it's going to be a bad film.
I don't even know what it was. I didn't really look it up because I thought it was a stupid name. So just didn't watch
Basically,
it.
it's the story of the Ford Shelby GTO, the building of the first one of that. The main Matt Damon is like the main character, and he plays whatever dude's first name is, the Shelby guy who made the Shelby GTO, and so he's basically building it because I guess there's some type of like racing, and it's based on a true story and Ferrari is like the big fastest car in that time.
The Enzo Ferrari, he built it to compete at the 24-hour Le Mans race in France.
Yeah, and so like he gets the driver of who he picks to drive it is isn't that played by Christian Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale, Matt Damon.
Then what's the dude who plays Frank Castle, the Punisher?
John Bernthal.
Yeah, he's in it too. So it looked Christian Bale. It looked pretty good. But I'm not gonna go see it in theaters just because I'm not too interested. I'm not really interested in car movies anyway. Like I don't even care about Fast and Furious or any car.
But if they make sequels, they'll probably turn into like people racing cars and saving the world and stuff.
I doubt they'll make a sequel to it though.
But in all honesty, from what I've seen on the footage and stuff, it looks like it's going to be less about the race and more about the competition of the cars and the drama in between the two drivers.
Yeah, and it's really a lot to do with, I think, Matt Damon's character and building the Shelby GTO and nobody believing in him. Yeah, that he could beat Ferrari, and so it should be a good movie, but it's not going to have sequels because this is based on a true story. So
Ford v Ferrari.
I think the joke flew over your head.
No, nothing flies over my head. If it did, I would catch it. But
Anyway, Ryan,
that's
go
our
ahead.
trailers.
Okay.
What?
Ryan was trying to say something, but we kept interrupting.
All I said was Ford v Ferrari 2, Revenge of the Shelby.
Yeah, I was trying to make a joke, but then Nick had to ruin it. But I was just making a joke because Fast and the Furious started off with street racing, and now it's freaking Black Superman and fucking people saving the world or whatever.
Well, I knew what you're doing. I was just saying that I doubt they make sequels, though. Like, in all actuality. I know that your sequel joke was a joke. I was just saying I'm sure they won't make sequels, though.
Speaking of Batman, we have it now officially confirmed. Robert Pattinson's going to be playing the new Batman, and it will be a full trilogy of films.
Yeah. We spoke about it before, and I didn't want to really, when it was just rumored, and then there was,
Yeah.
But I don't want to really speak too negative about it, anything more. Still got to catch some more.
Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, I have no control over it, so I guess I'm gonna at least let the dude give it his shot. I'm not particularly happy about the casting choice, but they have their reasons for everything they do. That he must have proved himself somehow. That we don't know
Apparently,
about.
Matt Reeves really liked these last two movies that he did, these indie movies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to check those out to see more of his acting wise.
I checked out one of the ones that they were talking about, and I'll say he definitely gave a way better performance than the performance I saw in the Twilight movie.
Yeah. But we really can't say too much because I'm pretty sure that I had the same reaction when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker. And we all know how that turned out.
Yeah. One of the best performances of all time.
The best performance of all time. Dude, when I post to human, I'm almost Oscar.
We recently announced new Dragon Ball Super movies coming out.
Yeah, this is for a niche audience here, but I don't know if anyone has seen all the Dragon Ball Super or just watched the new Dragon Ball Super Broly movie that came out, where they brought Broly back into canon. But that Dragon Ball Super Broly movie was fantastic.
Yeah,
and it was amazingly done. Animation was, God, it was so good. The story was great, which Dragon Ball Super was a good series in itself. And so I'm really interested to see what happens in the new movie when they do it, because or what the storyline is going to be mainly, because so there was 131 episodes of the Dragon Ball Super series, but the manga went past that and it's still putting new issues out. So they had like a new storyline in the manga. So I'm wondering if they will take the storyline that was done in the manga and adapt it into a movie, because it gets a little crazy. So more crazier than normal.
I've even had people who aren't fans of Dragon Ball who saw Dragon Ball Broly who were like, that was actually a really good story.
It was, and there was so much action in it, and the old Dragon Ball Z jokes of taking 5 episodes for Goku to power up, when you were watching a kid. Yeah. But that Dragon Ball Super Broly, it's like 45 minutes of a fight scene, and I didn't even know that it took that long. I was just like, at the end of the movie, I was like, oh God, the movie's already over? I was like, oh, I want more. It was so good. It was so good.
Unfortunately, I didn't see it yet. Like, I was going to, because it came to my theater near me, but I just didn't get around to it, and then just left the theater, so I never got a chance to watch it.
Yeah, man, you gotta get on that one. It's a great movie, and even Ryan said, even people that don't watch Dragon Ball Super or any of the Dragon Ball franchise have said that it was a good movie based on story wise and stuff. So, but yeah, exciting for what happens in the future with the Dragon Ball Super series. I mean, so good. But
There's
Speaking
new
of
cartoons coming to Netflix.
speaking of new stuff, there's new cartoons coming. Like Zach said, Netflix has just announced a Jurassic World series. We'll start right there, and then we'll get into the next one. But the Jurassic World series, which is exclusive to Netflix, comes out in 2020. I really feel like Netflix is like trying to just find something to latch onto now. They're just like scraping everything they can. They're like, okay, let's make something. What can we do now?
I feel like that's always been Netflix ever since they started doing original shows. It's just been like, let's just throw something and see what sticks, and then they cancel it at 3 seasons.
Or cancel it
But
after the first season, like that one show that we really liked.
yeah,
I can't
Well,
remember.
they have had a lot of success with original animated series here lately. They had the BoJack Horseman it's really highly critically acclaimed, even though it's kind of cheesy. And they had the Disenchanted series from the creators of Futurama and Simpsons, and
I didn't like that.
it was that it. Of course, I'm gonna watch it because I'm a huge fan of Futurama, but I feel like it didn't take off the same way. It's sure it's funny, but I don't know. It feels like they're rehashing a lot of their old storylines.
Yeah. Didn't they reboot Voltron too?
Yeah, they rebooted Voltron. They've got. I mean, Netflix has a huge selection of original animated stuff. Um,
Oh
and
yeah. I just don't know what you're gonna get out of a Jurassic World animated series.
yeah, even the kid in me is like thinking there's only so much you can do with dinosaurs.
Yeah, I mean it works for a movie, but how are you gonna make a series out of it? Like what?
Well, the whole point of seeing the Jurassic Park and World movies was to see very lifelike dinosaurs,
Right.
and can't do lifelike and animated.
No, it's just a cartoon. I mean, you could get any cartoon dinosaur movie or show. That's not a big deal. But like you said, yeah, the whole Jurassic Park movies or Jurassic World now, as they're now it's the whole lifelike versions of dinosaurs, and they look like they're in the real world.
I'll only be happy with it if they have the dinosaurs from Land Before Time in it.
yes.
That's okay. Oh God, Littlefoot, run, Littlefoot, run!
And they also announced that they're doing a SpongeBob prequel.
Yeah, this is Nickelodeon announced this.
No.
What?
No. I said no. I just
No. Oh no, you don't want it.
No.
No.
No
It
thanks.
It follows the story of Squidward while he's a child.
No.
Squidward.
Oh.
SpongeBob.
No.
It's about a 10-year-old SpongeBob. It's 13 episodes. It's something about SpongeBob's. He's like at a camp, too. So, I don't know, like if they've released any story details. But I was telling Zach, I don't think it's gonna have Squidward in it. Because Squidward he met at the Krusty Krab.
Yeah, I was joking.
I see.
So it's pretty much a young Sheldon, is what it is.
Yeah, it's like a young Sheldon version of SpongeBob. There you go. That's a good idea.
You didn't have this listed in the notes, but I'm going to bring it up because it is a big deal to a lot of people.
Is this about SpongeBob?
No, it's about Netflix releasing original stuff. Netflix has announced that they're going to be doing a Magic the Gathering live-action film, and it will be produced and directed by the Russo brothers.
I thought it was an animated series.
It is an animated series.
It's animated?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I guess the first thing I read about it was wrong.
It's animated.
Okay. But that'll still be interesting. Anything the Russo brothers do is going to be good. I'm not a huge Magic the Gathering fan, but my roommate is, and he seemed pretty excited whenever I told him about it.
Yeah, I just didn't care to put that in the notes because I cut. I had it. Well, I mean, there was a lot of other stuff that I had on the show thing. It was one of the things I cut.
Oh, well, I'm sorry I uncut it.
It's all good. It's all good. I just had nothing to say about it. But yeah, Nathan's excited about it, so I guess there's somebody. Does he listen to the show?
I mean, he hears me record from the other room.
Oh, cool. So moving on then. Yeah, SpongeBob. The SpongeBob prequel. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably when SpongeBob meets Patrick. I'm just gonna assume.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch that.
Yeah, so I bet that's what it is. I bet this will be him meeting Patrick for the first time. But as far as story-wise, I don't know what else will go on. But obviously, there's a lot of animated things being done. Netflix trying multiple things. Nickelodeon is scraping more out of the SpongeBob canon. So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, they've kind of been limited because they couldn't get any production money from Nickelodeon anymore. So,
yeah. But let's move on, though. Last week we talked about Swamp Thing going to premiere on last Friday, and it did. Premiered on the DC Universe. New episodes every Friday for 10 episodes for the next 10 weeks here. And me and Zach were both able to watch the premiere. And so I figured that we should give a little thoughts about it. But quick note about Swamp Thing. They just announced earlier today that it's got canceled.
Yeah, they're gonna show this season, and then that'll be it.
And mainly, I found the reason it was posted in. They make the show in North Carolina. Well, basically, what it came down to was that North Carolina, it's an $80 million budget. North Carolina originally, in this thing, they were supposed to contribute $40 million, and DC Universe was putting up 40. Well, apparently, they didn't know that what was promised was wrong by the bills, like through what the state pays for film incentives, and they can only contribute $13 million. So they said that if they would do a second season, that it wouldn't look as good as the first season. So that's why they not doing a second season. So that is the actual news part of it. You won't see that in most of the articles that get posted about it. They're not putting that in there. But I saw some Twitter feed of this guy in the North Carolina papers. There's like a huge deal where they said that all these film people were being informed of their budgets having to be cut because the people over the film commissions and stuff were wrong, basically.
Yep.
So they made a bunch of promises that they couldn't keep. So it wasn't just Swamp Thing getting their budget cut. It was multiple projects. And so that's not getting reported in like superhero high comic book resources. Their articles don't say that. But if you do some research, you can find it.
In my opinion, they should, because the way that the articles are written makes it seem like, it just wasn't a success.
Yeah, which is stupid, which was sounding stupid because only the first episode has come out and it wasn't amazing.
I mean, the whole deal kind of trashes the whole thing before it even happened. So
yeah, that's basically that's most of your news reporting goes. News reporting in quotations that you have these days is they're going to make it very more dramatic than what it really is. Yep. So, but my initial thoughts on Swamp Thing. I'm a huge DC Universe guy. I'm a huge DC guy in general. And you know how much I talk about DC Universe, which you can get for $7.99 a month, by the way. And so, I've watched Titans. I watched Young Justice Season 3. I watched Doom Patrol. Now I'm watching Swamp Thing. Of course, I'm a huge fan, but if you take the bias out, Swamp Thing was amazing first episode, amazing premiere episode. It was some of the most horrifying. I'm not really into horror stuff. That's not me. That's more Zach wise, which is why I thought Zach would enjoy the show more than I would. But I actually really enjoyed it. And like the first scene, I sent the first scene to our group message at the Good Stuff Podcast group message, and I said, guys, if this 3-4 minute scene doesn't sell you on Swamp Thing and doesn't make you want to watch it on the DC Universe, I don't know what else does. Because just that opening scene alone was amazing, and the whole episode has parts of stuff I've never even seen horrifying wise on a TV budget. And it was very well done. So it totally makes sense to me that whenever their budget was cut with the North Carolina thing, it makes sense not to do a second season because they need that budget. And they can't afford for it to not look as good as the first season does because the quality of it is so good. It looks freaking real. It's crazy. The acting was really good, except for like one person who I thought was just horrible. Plays the main who will end up being the villain.
Miss Sutherland. Right?
Miss Sutherland, thank you, Zach. She was really horrible actress.
That was like the worst scene.
She was only in one scene, and it was just so horrible. Like it was just, which is weird because she's complained on Twitter whenever the show got cut down, and I was like, I'd rather you not been on the show anyways. So, but it was a great introduction to Swamp Thing, and I really enjoyed it. I can't say enough good things about it. You really got to go see it. And as I said, on DCUniverse.com, you can see the premiere episodes of each of their DC Universe original shows for free. So you can go do that right now, DCUniverse.com. Watch the first episode of Swamp Thing. And as I said, as the same thing as I said on Doom Patrol, if that first episode doesn't sell you on it, I don't know what else to do, So I think everybody should watch it. Zach, what were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything he says, and I'm not a huge DC fan like that.
But Zach's the Marvel guy.
I'm the Marvel guy in the group, but yeah, like obviously that I'm pretty obsessed with like horror and stuff, and it had some really good horror elements, and I enjoyed the pilot. And I mean, as far as DC shows, like I'm not like a huge fan of like the DC movies. Like I'm not like really into them, but as far as DC shows go, like usually I think they're pretty good.
Cool. I would rank Swamp Thing up there with some of the best DC shows that have been out, especially that pilot episode alone.
Yeah, it was really good, and like I didn't expect it to have like gore or anything like that. Like
oh, it did.
It was crazy.
And it was good. It was fantastic. It was very well done. So please go watch Swamp Thing. I mean, it was great. Even like Zach, Zach's the Resident Marvel guy, but I knew he would like it just because it's horror wise. And I was like, Zach, you have to watch it. So he went and got his DC Universe membership just to watch Swamp Thing for me. And I didn't steer you wrong, did I?
No, it was good.
Cool. Ryan, you gotta watch it, man.
I'm gonna give it a watch.
Cool. Good. So last week we had a pre-E3 episode. E3's next week, so next week you're probably gonna get a lot of E3 news. We'll probably have like an E3 special episode when Jeremiah comes back next week. Because there'll be so much video game news that comes out of E3. Probably that's all we'll be talking about next week. But we talked about some rumors that could be happening at E3. And by God, if this week, since our episode came out, if two of them haven't already came true. And that is a new Darksiders game is coming out, and a new Watch Dogs game are both going to be coming out, and they're going to debut at E3. The Darksiders game is called Darksiders Genesis. And I don't know if you guys have seen like the info on it because I just posted the info this morning about this one. But it's a spin-off game. It's not set in the main Darksiders style. It's actually a over-the-top strategy game, kind of like Diablo or some junk like that. I think that's what they cited.
Okay.
And, yeah, so it's going to be more in that vein of the game. So that's all that I really know about it so far. We'll get more news about that at E3 next week. So, but yeah, Darksider Genesis is the name of that. And then the other game that was rumored and now coming true is a new Watch Dogs called Watch Dogs Legion, which is going to be set in London. I didn't see any details about this game. Did anyone else?
I have not seen any details about it yet.
Yeah.
I've seen limited details about it. I'm not saying that it looks like a bad game. It's just not my genre of game.
Watch Dogs?
I mean, it's I've played the other two Watchdog games. They had really good storylines. It's just there is always so much involved in the Watchdog games. Like it's one of those games that you have to have some time to dedicate to it because there's just so much to it. But
I'm really interested to see what the game is about though, because with the name Watch Dogs Legion, it makes me think that this is going to be more multiplayer focused than the original narrative story.
Yeah,
because Legion just sounds like multiplayer to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that for sure, and of course we'll get our details Monday about it. But just from the name, I feel like it's gonna be different in a Watch Dogs 3. So, but who knows? Maybe they're just gonna start, instead of using numbers in Watch Dogs, they're just gonna start going to using names, like so many other series that have got off numbers and went to names, like Halo.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I've finally decided I'm gonna be watching the E3 live cast because of all the good news that I've seen so far. There's a lot of things I want to check out with it. So I'm gonna be watching.
The first one on Sunday is man, it's really loud somewhere on one of yours, man.
Not really accurate.
Are you vacuuming, Zach?
Might be my fan. I don't know.
It probably is. But anyways, the first E3 press conference, I believe, is Microsoft's, which is actually on Sunday. So you get your Xbox news then. And then I think the other ones are like Monday and Tuesday. But yeah, so check our Twitter feed for probably some, and our Facebook feed for, announcements as they come along. So, and initial thoughts on it, at least. So do that, E3, starting Sunday. But yeah. Moving on, though. We're still on video games. We got video games the rest of the episode here. Mortal Kombat 11, which me and Zach have both beat the story mode on. They have now, every Mortal Kombat game has DLC fighter packs. And Shang Tsung was already revealed as the first person. But they put out a trailer for him. And along with this reveal trailer, they also revealed that they're going to have Sindel, Nightwolf, and frickin' Spawn is going to be part of the DLC for Mortal Kombat 11. And then 2 unannounced fighters will be also included. I'm really super pumped about Spawn, but the Shang Tsung trailer, normally Shang Tsung's not a character that I really care too much about. But the trailer was good, wasn't it, Beck?
Yeah, it was crazy. Just kept transforming into other ninja, like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then some others that aren't even in the game right now.
Yeah, so like a lot of people, you get Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I think those are and Noob Sabat are the only three ninjas in the game in Mortal Kombat 11. But Shang Tsung apparently can turn into Ermac, Reptile, and Rain as well, even though those three characters are not in the game. And then his fatality was really super cool because he sent a soul into the person's body, and then all of a sudden Kentaro, which was a like a tiger-looking version of Goro, basically, I think that was from like the Mortal Kombat 64 was where he was introduced. He busts through the person's body. That was really freaking awesome. It was really cool seeing Kentaro too. So, as I said, I think it was Mortal Kombat 64 was the game that Kentaro came in at. I can't remember that for certain. Because what, Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, what you had? Goro, Shiva, and then Kentaro, right?
Yeah.
Not Kentaro, Mentaro.
Yeah.
And then
Says he made his debut in Mortal Kombat 2.
oh, did he?
Yeah,
Like
as a sub boss, and became a playable in Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which was that Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Cool. As I said, he looks kind of like a tiger version of Goro, so it was just I didn't expect to see Kentaro, so it was pretty exciting stuff. Reaching really deep into the Mortal Kombat lore there, so which they did pretty good on this game, seeing a lot of different characters and stuff. So I'm excited about it. Made me want to play Shang Tsung, and then as of course I said, how freaking awesome is it to have Spawn in a Mortal Kombat game? That is going to be so cool.
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
Anything with Spawn is going to have a big selling point to it, just because he's such a widely known character.
Yeah, I mean, he's been rumored since Mortal Kombat 9 to be a DLC character. You had Mortal Kombat 9, Injustice, Mortal Kombat 10, Injustice 2, and he was rumored for all four of those games as DLC. Never came out, and then finally Mortal Kombat 11 we're getting Spawn.
Now, what I really want is Pinhead from the Hellraiser series. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited to see who those other two people were. Cool. And I'm also excited about Nightwolf. I don't remember when the last time I know Sindel was in, what, 9?
Yeah. I don't think Nightwolf was in any of the reboot series.
Yeah, Nightwolf hasn't been on there since, like, Deception or something like that. Or Deadly Alliance, something. It's been a long time since I've seen Nightwolf. So I'm interested to see what he'll look like, too, so... Because Cabal had a cool look in the game in Mortal Kombat 11. It had been a long time since we saw Cabal too. So
yeah.
But let's move on to this next here. Me and Zach, we played Call of Duty Black Ops 4 a lot, and they have seasons on the game, and they just released a new thing. It's called Days of Summer. It just released on PS4 on Tuesday, and it'll be on PC and Xbox next week. But Days of Summer, the Days of Summer update has been pretty great. We play Blackout. We don't play like multiplayer, but multiplayer's got like a capture the flag mode and stuff like that now.
Yeah, I started playing multiplayer a little bit more because the capture the flag was pretty fun, and I kept winning the games for my team because like nobody on my team knew how to capture the flag.
They're like, what's capture the flag?
They're just sitting with their thumbs up their butt, and I'm going and I captured the flag all 3 times and won the game for us.
It's a huge issue with any shooter-based game that has an objective in it. I've spent so many hours on Overwatch, and that is generally where you get the worst losses that you can get. That you have teammates who just go around chasing kills or try to go chasing kills and don't worry about the objective, and then the timer runs out because nobody was on the point.
Yeah.
And it makes objective based shooters hard.
I don't really like objective based ones because of that problem that you just said too.
Yeah.
So because it's just annoying, because nobody wants to do the objective. It's like, defend this area, and then like all of a sudden you look around and everybody's gone. You're like the only one there. Like, how are we supposed to defend an area with nobody here? And then you got the other team comes in and they got like 4 or 5 people. You're one person. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, and I know you've heard me curse people's names 100 times whenever I was playing League of Legends, whenever we were roommates. It's the same thing. People go chase kills and not worry about the objectives.
Yeah, kills don't matter in objective-based matches.
Exactly.
Does everybody remember that? Does anybody know that? Do you know that? Did you know that? Yeah. Yeah.
If the objective to win is to do something other than killing people, you got to do something other than killing people.
If you only care about kills, go play deathmatch. What are you doing here? I don't know. These other ones, I don't know. But anyway, what was really exciting for us, though, like we play Blackout, which is the Battle Royale mode. And what was really exciting about this is they just made this new mode on there called Ground War. And it's 50 versus 50. And it's nuts. It's crazy. I know other Battle Royale games have done this, but it's so much different. Puts a new spin on the Call of Duty Blackout thing that we hadn't become accustomed to. What's really cool about it is the first 3 circle collapses, you can respawn as long as you have people, so you have immediate party of 4. And as long as you have people in your immediate party of 4, then you can come back at the respawn. There's 3 respawns. And then the last 2 collapses, there is no respawn. So if you die, you die at that point. And but it's kind of crazy, though, because you just land with all these people. You land on the map, and there's 50 people around, and they got little things above their heads if they're your teammates and stuff. It's just nuts. But they put a lot more weapons on the map and ammo and stuff, and it's crazy. What have your thoughts been about it, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It's new, a lot different, and yeah, they added a lot more ammo. All I have to do is pick up 2 pieces of ammo, and my gun's already full, and so you don't really have to go looking around for a bunch of ammo.
Yeah. So I noticed the ammo clips are a lot. I don't know if it's like that in the regular modes, because we just have played Ground War since it came out on Tuesday. We haven't played just quads or doubles or whatever. So don't know if the ammo is like that just in Ground War or if in the other match modes. I guess we'll find out when they change the mode, next week or the week after that. Because we usually play the specialty modes. We don't do the basic ones. But yeah, it's been fun, and it's pretty cool. So we've been playing it for a while. So I've really enjoyed it myself, the Blackout in general. So, but yeah. Days of Summer, if you don't already have it and play on PS4, you can add me and Zach. Zach's Z-Bandit, and I'm CK the Red Hood. And you can add us both on PlayStation and send us an invite. But if you send us an invite, let us know it's you, because we get invites from a lot of people all the time, and we just ignore them because it's really hard to tell. Half the time I feel like we have played with these people, and half the time we get invites and I'm like, I don't know who that person is. So please let us know it's you sending us an invite, because we may just be like, hey, no, we don't know who this guy is.
And I occasionally join them whenever I get a chance to get on the PlayStation.
Yeah, and his Porn Denims is his name, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Ryan's Torn Denim, Torn Torn Venom. If you don't know how to spell Venom, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, you can add him on there. And Jeremiah doesn't play Black Ops, but you can add Jeremiah, Papa Bojangles, with the Z at the end there. And you can add him, and he's playing Rage 2, I know, right now. Not today, obviously, not right now, but, currently. But yeah. So,
And we have a new announcement from Game Freak and Nintendo, or now I guess the Pokemon Company.
Yeah, so we got to see Pokemon Sword and Shield yesterday at the Nintendo Direct, and they showed off gameplay video, and they announced details about it, it made me and Zach really want a Nintendo Switch. What about you, Ryan? Did you watch it?
I mean, I've wanted a Switch for a long time, but it now gives me a new reason to be looking for a Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it looked amazing, just the look of it. I mean, isn't this what we always wanted, anyways? Was a console Pokemon game,
Right.
and it looks great. Some notable things about the game is that there's no random encounters anymore. You just see Pokemon, like, you'd be walking through the grass. There's not just like random Pokemon in the wild and they attack you or whatever. You see them in the wild and you can approach them and you can choose to battle them if you want. And like if you're in a cave or something like that, where you can't see and the Pokemon, and like I know in caves and dungeons or whatever, it says that an exclamation mark will come on if a Pokemon has approached you, and you can choose whether you want to battle it or not. The camera is it's a free roam camera, so you can move the camera around, which is very different in Pokemon games. And they have new Dynamax Pokemon, I believe the word for it, which basically it's like makes your Pokemon giant and red and stuff. And it's like a special ability that can only be used once in battle. And basically makes a giant version of your Pokemon, makes them super hard to fight and stuff. And they have these things called raid battles where you and other people can team up to battle against powerful Dynamax Pokemon. So that was just some of the details that I noted when I looked at some of the footage and stuff. So is there anything that I missed as far as detail wise that y'all saw that was interesting?
Not really. I mean, it's like you said, it's the first console based one. So it's going to have its own new stuff, and I'm sure they're going to introduce a lot more stuff and announce, or at least announce a lot more new stuff than do other Pokemon game soon.
Yeah, it looks great though. It looks amazing. So I thought the graphics on it were really good, and so really excited about it. It really makes me regret selling my Switch last year. So, not that I haven't regretted it already, but really regretted it when I watched that video yesterday. So, but yeah.
Good job.
Do you regret selling your Switch now, Zach?
Yeah, I do. But it was either that or food, so. Because I had lost my job at the time, so.
The age-old thing. Pokemon
the age-old video games or food. You can't eat a Switch. I mean, I guess you could, but it's probably not very good for you.
I doubt it will have that much nutritional value.
Probably not. But real quick before we end the show, has anyone done anything interesting this week or new?
Yeah, I this past weekend, like we talked before, I got to shoot the first Blind Bandit comedic short. Had a lot of fun working with Daniel as our cameraman and director. Daniel Baldwin, who has been a guest chair here on the podcast, and got to work again with Sarah Ring, who was Batgirl in our old Gotham Knights production.
Changed her name to Sarah Depp, by the way.
What?
We changed her name to Sarah Depp.
Sarah Depp. We had a lot of fun shooting that this past weekend, and it's an original script created by Sarah and myself. It's in editing right now.
Yeah, I just downloaded. I got all the footage downloaded, so I can start really working on it now.
Awesome. That's how I spent my weekend.
Yeah. So what's the title of that?
A tentative title right now is Getting Ready. It may change later.
Probably will.
But it's a short film about a couple getting ready for a wedding, and a boyfriend who never wants to get out of bed. Pretty much,
So
it's just
That's pretty much you, Ryan.
That's pretty much it. So just watch the.
It's just a hyped up version of me, is all it is.
Yeah,
It's
so
really just a true story.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you should put in editing, based on a true story.
I just want to be clear about this for the podcast today. Nick sent out a text message 3 hours beforehand to me, telling me we would record in 3 hours, and then called me at noon multiple times. And I slept through all the phone calls, and he had to call my roommate to literally come in here and wake me up.
But you do know that happens every week, right?
That's every week. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is
I literally have to call Nathan every week to come wake you up.
And this is where the idea for the short came from.
Yeah.
I never want to get out of bed. But somehow I'm always there and always ready to go.
Yeah. But you wouldn't be here if Nathan didn't come get you out of bed. But I'm excited about it, and then I'll make a after I'm done editing. Never mind. After I'm done putting it all together.
After you're done with your stroke.
After I've been stroking out here, I'm going to put together some outtakes if there's any. Which I haven't watched any of the footage to know if there's outtakes, but it's Ryan, so I'm sure there is.
There's a few. Yeah,
I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure there is. So I'll put together a little outtake reel, and then we'll release it for our Patreon people. So,
and I will tell you all, the star of this entire film is the boom mic. It doesn't have any screen time appearance, but it should be one of the outtakes. There's a scene of how we had to jerry rig the boom mic, because it was literally a 3-man crew the entire time. It was me, Daniel, and Sarah, and couldn't exactly have Daniel carrying around the boom mic and the camera at the same time.
You could. It'd be hard.
Yeah, need to get him like some backpack straps with a special.
Zach, what do you saw some movies this past weekend, right?
I saw a couple. I saw Godzilla, which it was really good. I enjoyed it. Like, I've never really been a huge fan of those monster movies. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then yesterday I saw Rocket Man, which it was pretty good. I didn't really know, like, from the trailer you can't tell that it's like it's like sort of like a musical almost. Because like he has his, like, when he's playing sometimes, and then he has his like fantasy, and then it turns into like some weird like musical, and then everybody's dancing and shit, but it's like it's not really happening, it's just in his mind. But yeah, I mean, I liked it.
Cool. So the Godzilla movie was good. A lot of monster fighting and stuff. So, right?
Yeah, I loved it. It was good.
Cool. So you've pretty much seen. You said you've seen every movie in the theater,
except for A Dog's Journey and The Hustle. So everything that's in theaters right now, besides those two, I've seen.
Dear God.
Which I don't plan on seeing A Dog's Journey, and I don't plan on seeing The Hustle. So
see A Dog's Journey.
Why?
Yeah, man.
So I can cry.
You need to cry.
So I can cry like Nick did during My Dog Skip.
Hey.
I almost cried during the trailer of My Dog's Journey, all right?
Really?
It was so sad.
I don't know.
The dog keeps coming back, and he keeps getting like reincarnated in other dogs, but keeps getting the same owner.
I don't want to watch that.
It's fucking weird. it's by the same people that same writer that did A Dog's Purpose, I think.
Is this
Yeah.
something that Ryan wouldn't be able to watch growing up because it has reincarnation in it?
Yeah, probably. my parents were, it's demon worship.
Demon worship. Reincarnation. All right. Anyways, we talked about PS Plus games last week, and they released the PS Plus games, and I tried them out. So we'll start with Sonic Mania, and I played that, and it's really, I played a little bit of it. It's really interesting. It's like old school Sonic the Hedgehog. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 levels, but it looks exactly the same almost, but like the storyline's a little different and the boss battles are different, but as far as the stages themselves, they're pretty much almost the same. So it was very different, and then it goes off, like the first two stages were like that, and then it went to something I hadn't seen before. So I don't know if I had been in a Sonic game before and I just hadn't played it all, but it was pretty cool. You can choose between Sonic and Tails, or you can play as just Sonic or just Tails, and then you can play as Knuckles too. So I chose Knuckles because he's cool. But actually, I wish I just chose Sonic and Tails though. It's kind of the levels are more suited, I think, to Sonic and Tails than they are Knuckles. So, but it was all right. It was pretty cool. As I said, it looks just like you're playing. The graphics look exactly the same of old school Sega Sonic. So, and then they also released Borderlands. Was it the Handsome Collection, Zach?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never, I've only played a little bit of the first Borderlands, and this one doesn't have Borderlands 1. It has the pre-sequel, which is set in between 1 and 2, and then but it came out third. And then the Borderlands 2. So I just started the pre-sequel because since it's set in between 1 and 2, I figured that I should play that one first. I started playing it, and I've really enjoyed it so far. I haven't played it a whole lot, but I really enjoyed it so far, and it made me really regret not playing Borderlands before now. So
yeah, the Borderlands games, they're really a lot of fun to play. Like just the dialogue alone makes it worth it.
Yeah, and I guess it's multiplayer. Like I guess I could play through the campaign with someone. So like, you could switch it, and I could just invite you, Zach, to play if I wanted to, and then you could just join my game at any time.
Yeah.
So I haven't done that yet, but I noticed it yesterday because like at the top right hand corner, it was like had like 4 spots. And it said not connected, and then like I pressed a button, and it brought up a menu where I could invite friends. But I have to say that got 2 good offerings on your PS Plus games. So if you have a PS Plus membership, go ahead and download those 2 games because they're pretty good games. So they're not bad, especially they're free. So why not? Why not get all the PS Plus games you want, even if you don't want to play them? I mean, I've been trying to download the games every month to at least give them a try. I even played that, what was that, Conan Exiles, and what was the other game that they had that one time? The Surge.
Yeah.
I didn't like those, but these ones were pretty good, so good offering. But anyway, guys, that's about all that I have for this week. Did I forget anything that anybody wants to throw out there?
I don't think so. Not for me.
That covers it for the week.
Cool. Should be a pretty good time on our episode this week, so we didn't keep you for 3 hours. So
we didn't have Jeremiah here to move things along.
Right. We've been trying to get it cut down to about 90 minutes an episode, so I think we're going to hit under that mark today. So working on stuff, cutting stuff out, making the show a little bit better for you, the listeners. So if you like what you hear, leave us a review on Facebook. Let us know how we're doing. And don't forget about our Patreon page, patreon.com/Blind Bandit Productions.
Blind Bandit Productions.
Thank you. And see all the great tiers that we have on there, and think about helping support Blind Bandit each and every month and throw a few dollars there. And as I said, if you look at all the tiers, you get, as they progress, you get more and more stuff. And so, I mean, $5 is nothing. Like Ryan said, don't have a snack, that day, or
Yeah,
don't go to Chipotle one day. Go to Taco Bell instead.
And I mean, eventually we might either add more tiers or add more perks to tiers. So like it'll just evolve. So just give it a look, and
Yeah, definitely. Next year when we start doing the shows and films and stuff like on a full-time basis, when Zach moves back to Arkansas, we'll just be adding. We may have some perks that go beyond what we have $35. That's the highest perk right now.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, you may get a $50 perk or something like that and add more stuff, but the perks like the bronze and the gold and silver, whatever that we have now, we will be adding more stuff. As I said, that way any aspect that Blind Bandit Productions does, we're going to give you content for helping us out with money. So, because why not? I mean, we have it, so might as well. If you help support us, then we'll throw you some free stuff. So, but yeah, we would appreciate the support, and follow us on our social media pages, facebook.com/thegoodstuffpodcast. That's where you can leave us a review and like the page. Then we're on Instagram, Good Stuff Podcast, and Twitter, Good Stuff for Real, BBP for Real, facebook.com/Blind Bandit Productions, and of course all the places you can listen to us on. So that's all that I got for this week. What was that? Was someone saying something?
I said,
Ryan.
Yeah, right. Everybody talk at one time. Ready? Go.
But it's
I like Ash Brown's with
that was it.
I quit. Okay. That was fun. Thank you so much for listening to episode 24 of the Good Stuff Podcast. Next week, we'll be back with episode 25. We're hitting a good milestone, I guess. We'll be 1/4 of the way to 100. And we'll be bringing another guy with us, too, Jeremiah. So we'll see you next.
That's how math works.
That is how math works. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Remember, #good stuff.
Patreon.
Patreon.